Awesome. Well, Jeff is our Vice President of Sales, and today, you guys, is a kickoff of our Power of One More event series and business planning. What that means is that there are 7 events between today and December 12th for you to get fired up. What we're asking you guys to do as agents is to sell one more transaction than you did in Q4 of 2022. Because the power of one more can put more money in your pocket, can kick you off so that your 2024 is going to be amazing. So just do one more phone call, one more listing presentation, add one more person to your SOI, whatever that one more thing is. We're encouraging you to do that. And we also have this event series in business planning to help keep you motivated. To talk about the business planning, traditionally, it's something that you sit down and do, or it's something that we've done as a company in a couple hours. And we realize that couple hours can get kind of long. So we're going to do it differently this year. We're going to do it by breaking it down into 4 weeks. We're going to have a different topic each week. Each of you is going to get a workbook. And on each week, we're going to focus on a different aspect of your business plan for 2024. So it's going to kick off this Friday. Instead of Focus Friday, we're going to do business planning, and it's going to be the only Todd Conklin, and he's going to talk about finding your North Star. And it's finding your North Star 2. So it'll be 9 a.m. Mountains time and 10 a.m. Central time. And business planning is going to go for 3 weeks. And it's going to end on Thursday, November 16th. It's a Thursday. And we're going to have Bill Pipe, who's going to talk about driving productivity and scaling profitability. And also with that, Todd's going to come and give us a market update. So we would love to see you there. If you want to know about the link, or if you have a question, please talk to your managing director or whoever invited you to today's event. But oh, shoot, I forgot to get this started here. There's our welcome. So there's our calendar. The Power of One More is today. Finding Your North Star is on the 27th, this Friday. And then in November, that's the rest of the business planning. But before we introduce our panel, which is why we're all here today, I want to have Rachel Delzell, our Vice President of Marketing, join us to thank our sponsors.
Yes, I get the super exciting part. But seriously, thank you so much to our sponsors. First up is our Colorado title sponsor, Land Title Guarantee Company. Land Title Guarantee Company is the largest locally owned and operated title agency in Colorado with more than 50 offices spanning the state. Since 1967, they deliver unsurpassed transaction experiences for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, lenders, and financial institutions. Alyssa, you'll see in the chat, is putting up all of our sponsors' websites so you can go and check out more information about them as well. All right, next up is Platinum Title, our Kansas title sponsor.
Getting there.
Platinum Title is our local family-owned business serving counties in both Kansas and Missouri. The staff of dedicated professionals will guide you through the entire closing process on your property and on your client's property. Platinum Title values each and every one of their customers with competitive rates, no voicemail, which I think is awesome, and quick commitments. They have great turnaround time within the surrounding counties. So thank you to Platinum Title. Next up, Fairway Independent Mortgage, our Kansas mortgage sponsor. Whether you're looking to buy, build, or refinance your home, Fairway's experienced mortgage professionals are there to help. Fairway Independent Mortgage offers a variety of loan options and is dedicated to finding the right loan with great terms, rates, and costs to meet your client's specific needs. Thank you, Fairway. Next up, Escrow Professional is our Iowa closing sponsor. Escrow Professional provides settlement services for residential mortgage lenders and closing services for real estate brokerages, and they've been providing real estate closing services since 1996. Finally, our 6-state insurance sponsor is Distinctive Insurance Agency. Distinctive Insurance Agency was founded in the summer of 2022, as most of you know, as part of our Distinctive Way. and the need to provide an exceptional full-service real estate experience for our clients, we partnered with experienced, knowledgeable insurance company, Distinctive Insurance. So thank you so much to our sponsors and enjoy our Power of One More event series.
Thank you, Rachel, and a round of applause for all of our sponsors, because without them, we can't do business. And so we thank them for supporting today's event, as well as the Power of One More event series. Jeff.
Wow. Can you guys hear me okay? Thumbs up, yes?
Yep.
Thank you. All right. So there's a saying out there that knowing versus doing. So you know what to do, but are you willing to do it? And doing it one day is one thing. That's a great step in the right direction. Doing it 2 days, 3 days, hell, even 5 days in a row is where you really, really separate yourself from most folks. And today, I am confident that you are going to walk away with stuff, action items that you can deploy immediately following this webinar to put into your business, which will help get you one more listing, one more under contract, one more buyer, one more person to your sphere of influence. So I'm very, very excited to be here today with this amazing panel. And I'm just going to start left to right. And guys on the panel, here's what I'm going to ask you. How long have you been in the industry? First, what's your name? Where are you located? How long have you been in the business? And then just simply summarize your market area as far as up, down, price point, if you know some of those different deals. So one of my favorite human beings in the entire world, my homie, Nikki Mativa, please send us some love. Where are you at? What are you going? What's going on right now? Oh, Nikki, you're muted. Oh my God, we almost nailed that. We almost nailed it, Nikki.
Oh,
Oh.
dang it. That was such a great intro too. I love it. My name is Nikki Mativa. I am in Grand Junction, Colorado, which is on the western slope of Colorado. I live in a valley, and our valley is just like this outdoor mecca of Colorado. Our market can be described as a lot of transplants. It's a great retirement community. We have a college here. So we just have this vast array of clients that we get to work with. I've been in the business for 4 years and I love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Nikki, for being here. Your story is absolutely incredible. I won't say that you left and then came home, but the good news was you came back home once you left for a split bit. So that's all we'll say. That just shows
Let's
you.
Let's say it loud and proud. I'm home.
All right. Well, I'll let you do that. Kelly Musgrove in North Park, Iowa. She's part of our Des Moines family. Like, guys, no offense to any of you, especially in our resort markets or in our higher luxury markets. If you want to know what busy looks like, talk to some of our folks in Iowa. These guys are putting crazy deals together at a high volume, just simply based off of sales price. So, Kelly, same questions to you. Your location, how long you've been in the business, and summarize your market for us, please.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, sorry I'm not pictured. I don't know
This
how
is
to
amazing.
do
It
this.
is Halloween, so it's like you're a ghost.
I'm in
This is
costume
fantastic.
with Coldwell Banker. Yes, I'm Kelly Musgrove. I am out of the North Park office in Des Moines, Iowa. Been in real estate now for 6 years. Our market is pretty much suburban and rural. I primarily focus on the suburban market. Our average price point is between $350,000 to $370,000. So yes, we do a crazy number of deals each year to reach our goals. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I don't know what happened to my slides. Did everyone lose their slides, or was that just me? Okay, just me. All right. So now I will go in order. Christy Long, same question to you. First things first, did you love Gen Blue or what?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Love it. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Super excited.
I don't want to digress.
Yeah. Next year, I just hope there's a palm tree in our future.
You know what?
I would love that.
I'm not going to lie. I want the same damn thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was awesome. So I'm Christy Long. Thanks everybody for coming in today on this. I've been in the business 3 years. I'm in Vail, Colorado. And
Okay. There we go.
Sorry, I got distracted. I have to apologize too for my lighting. I'm sitting in a community room in one of the condos that I have been working on over the last few years because I've got a showing today, right after. So I just had to squeeze everything in. So I'm kind of in the dark in this little room. But so I've been in the business 3 years. I'm in Vail, Colorado, which is kind of two markets. We have locals, obviously, who live here and struggle to find affordable housing. And most of the deals that I do is in the resort second homeowner market. So like right now I'm in the Vail Golf Course neighborhood sitting in a condo. So yeah, that's kind of where we are.
I have to imagine Vail this time of year is pretty darn spectacular.
It's really, really pretty. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was
Who's
fun
ready
in
to go to
Georgia
Vail
seeing
at the end
like,
of September, 1st of October. Sign me up for that.
oh yeah. Yeah. And it's beautiful. So we wake up, it's chilly. And by midday, it's, like 75, sunny, not a cloud in the sky, and just perfect.
Okay. That's sounds more like it. Now,
Yeah.
this is a very, very, very special guest of mine as well on this piece. Shane Hawes, who is based out of our Bozeman, Montana office. I've been fortunate to know Shane for a little over 3+ years, and this kid's story is phenomenal. So I won't spoil it too much or give too much of a spoiler alert. So Shane, same question, name, office, location, general vibe of the market at the moment.
Well, Jeff, you kind of answered all those already for me. So yeah, Shane Hawes, Bozeman, Montana. I've been in the business 3 years. You basically covered all that. So basically a lot of vacation homes. What's the average price here for a single family? You're the stats guy, like 800, 850, somewhere around there.
819 is the median, yes.
Oh, he's good at this, guys. He has that memorized. That's just something I'm not good at. But yeah, that's pretty much kind of a broad view of what's going on in our market.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being here. Nikki, Kelly, Shane, Christy, we appreciate you guys so much. We can't wait to steal as much information. Now, hey, before we get going, jumping into the questions, guys, feel free to use the chat below, ask any and all questions, and I'll weave them into that, I promise. And I got a few curveballs for the group. So you guys, you got the list of questions, but you didn't get all the questions. So just be prepared for that. All right, let's start with Kelly. Kelly had an interesting opportunity. So right now, you're in the succession planning, taking over someone's business, right? That sound about right, Kelly? The ghost that is Kelly out of North Park. How did that all start? Just out of curiosity.
Well, when I started in the North Park office, Mary Eikenberry, she just retired this last December. She would have me cover for her when she would take vacation, be out of the office and such. And so about 2.5 years ago, she approached me and invited me to lunch and asked me if I'd be interested in starting to work in the senior market. And I knew that she had been doing a Straight Talk Senior seminar once a month, and that's primarily where her business had went, to serving seniors and working more with listings than buyers. And so at that point, I took some time to consider. Part of joining in with her was me getting my certified senior housing professional designation through the Senior Real Estate Institute out of Oklahoma City. So that was about a year-long process, and I did get certified this last March. And so what we've done is, I just started going on appointments with her. We do, consultations with seniors just to kind of, see where they're at and what their needs are. And so I've been working with her now. And I know one of Sarah's questions was, do we have a contract? And we do. We have a 3-year contract. Each year reduces in the amount of referral commissions I pay to Mary. In that contract, Mary laid out certain expectations for me, such as attending her senior seminar talks each month, participating in our Central Iowa Senior Network group, just things like that. So it has been an amazing venture for me. It has probably provided me with about 50% of my business so far in 2023. When she first talked to me, I'm like, Mary, I don't like listings. I work with buyers. And now I am doing a lot of listings and really enjoying it. So it's been a good move for me.
Thank you for sharing, Kelly. You know, in real estate, you're right, there's a couple different agents. You either die at your desk, right? Because you don't think of bundling up your sort of black book, your book of business, and selling it. Well, then when you do think of that, there's two different ways of handling it. It's like, okay, hey, here's the example. Hey, Shane, I'm old, you're young, take my book of business. I'm just going to kick them all off to you. I promise they're going to use you every single time. Well, 9 times out of 10, they forget that I even exist because Shane didn't do anything on his end. This is more appropriately scaled in that she was bringing you to events. So for the Iowa group, DP's heard this a handful of times, but this is part of our wealth building platform, is bundling up and basically pricing your business and handing it off to an agent. But it's not just, again, in this example, hey, Shane, it's January 1, you take my people. It's a 2-3 year process where I'm introducing Shane to all of my people so they get comfortable, not only with me and my gray hair, but this guy who's really, really young and tatted up and looks fantastic. So that is amazing. I love hearing you. There you go, buddy. So, all right, let's start with Christy. So how have you managed in a declining market, right? And it's across the board. Nationally, I think it's 31% is where we're at from a volume standpoint, unit standpoint, are pretty parallel in all of that. How have you managed the year-over-year growth within your personal business?
So I have done a couple of different things. I feel like I live with one foot in the local market,
Okay.
or at least, you know, a handful of toes, and then the rest is in the resort second homeowner market. So I'm doing two kind of tracks here. I have partnered with a lender, and every quarter we are targeting, primarily we're starting with the school district because we're losing teachers over and over again. We have 71 vacancies in our overall school district right now. So, and I was a teacher. My husband is in education at the college here and on the school board. So for us, it's kind of a soft spot. So every quarter we are going to, myself and a lender, we're going into the schools and we're doing these workshops for them, talking about down payment assistance programs. We're talking about how they can layer it, how to rebuild credit, how to save money, how to do all of these different things to put themselves in a position to buy a home, and talking about listings and areas and so on. So from Gen Blue, though, I've taken that and written an ebook. So that is going to go out this week. So I'm just waiting on cover art to come back and a few other things. And then that is going to go out and we're going to use that for marketing. So that's one of the things that we're doing that hopefully will get some traction to help locals get into homes and utilize these programs. So that's awesome because it's building my network and knowledge within all the different towns because there's programs there, right. The county. And of course, then just trying to get this ebook out is going to be something special because I don't know anyone else who's doing that.
So when you say ebook, Christy, without completely opening up the kimono, what are you referring to?
So basically, I went to a session, learned how to use AI to quicken the process. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like I changed my schedule at Gen Blue to follow this guy in every session he did.
He's awesome.
He's awesome. So I was all over that. So now I've been on Fiverr. I've got cover art going. I've got my formatting because we did it as an interview style, just again to hasten the process. Yep. So when I was at Gen Blue, I was texting the lender saying, hey, block your schedule, we're doing this. And she was all over it. Wow. So that's, I mean, Friday morning, I got in Thursday night. Friday morning, I was in her office and we were recording our interview.
Congrats. That's
so
awesome. Way to take action, Steve.
Super excited about that. So that's one thing. But then on the resort side, because no one lives here, right? I mean, I'm sitting in a building now with 78 units and there are 12 full-time owners. So how am I going to reach them? So I've been cold calling buildings since I started in 2021. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I have utilized Rachel and her team that have been amazing in putting some lists together. It saved me a ton of time. So I am cold calling these folks as long as they're not on the do not call list. And I'm writing handwritten notes to them, dropping my business card in there. I'm doing a kind of an insert email marketing to follow up with them. So I'm building out for 11 buildings, cold calling these places. So yeah, I mean, that's one of the big things that I spend my time doing is cold calling. So I have a listing coming up in Vale Village that the guy bought it only 6 years ago. And I had asked him, are you working with it? He's like, I can't even remember who my broker was. So I thought, well, dude, I'm not telling you if you don't know, it's going to be me. So, you know, those relationships are just coming over the phone. Some of these people, I don't meet them at all. You know, I mean, they're doing the sale, they're doing everything over the phone and DocuSign and title and the whole thing. So
That's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
fantastic, Christy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Before I forget, and we'll have that follow-up question with regards to the assistant, Christy. So I'll let you have a little bit of time, but here's a statistic, and I wish Todd was on here. He'd correct me in an absolute nanosecond, but it was a study was done, or not a study, a survey was done. 89% of buyers and sellers would recommend their previous agent that they used. Less than 60% remembered who the person was. Think about that for a split second. So, so the follow-up question, Chrissy, do you have an assistant?
no, oh no, just me.
Oh no.
Well, I guess I sort of do, because I've got Greg in our office, our
Yeah.
agent concierge. So today he's going to
Absolutely.
be printing out some stuff for my workshop. I'm doing a workshop tonight, actually, at the high school. So he's helping me with that. And then Rachel and her team have helped me kind of put together these lists, because prior to that, I was doing those lists on my own, and doing that research is so time consuming to
Oh, yeah.
jump. I mean, even if you use the title company, it's still time consuming to try to find all that information. But I asked Rachel for like 11 buildings, and I had it in, I think, 2 days. So amazing.
Guys, ask Rachel. Shane, same question to you. How have you managed your year-over-year growth? And if you don't answer the correct way, I'm going to make sure that you don't.
Oh, I am so worried because I don't know the correct way here. Okay. So basically, I kind of finally know what I'm doing. The whole goal of how many people I'm trying to talk to every single day. And basically my whole goal is trying to become friends with them first, basically, because friends are going to refer you to other friends. Friends are going to use you for business. They're not going to use just some real estate agent that they think is a used car salesman. Basically, that's the whole point of my business, is trying to make these relationships happen. And so that's why I get that word of mouth every single day from them.
And he's being very, very bashful and shy here and modest, but this guy has absolutely understood the assignment of building a relationship with these folks. We heard about it all last week at Gen Blue. If you've ever heard a class from Jimmy Klager, who, if you're lucky enough to be in Grand Junction, they got to know you before they can like you. They got to like you before they can trust you. KLT for days, right? And then they don't work with you until they trust you. And Shane's done an amazing job with that. So thank you, Shane, for sharing that. Nikki, same question to you.
So this year, I really think that my growth in the business has come from my mindset. I just completely revamped everything in my personal life, and that has bled into my business. I'm a slave to time blocking. I'm a slave to my schedule, and just being consistent with that. So I time block daily, weekly, monthly. I do it quarterly. I know exactly what I need to be doing every day. And I also make sure that I'm taking care of myself too. So I really think just focusing in, honing in on, daily gratitudes, my meditation, affirmations, all of that type of stuff has helped me in my business, working out every day. It's amazing what taking care of myself has done for my business.
That is so critical in today's world with the mental health piece, but just having that clarity, having that schedule, knowing like, oh, I know exactly what I have to do at exact amount of time, because as independent contractor, it is so stinking easy to be like, I'll get to it tomorrow. And then the next day comes, I'll get to it the next day. And then this stuff just starts compounding. You're like, oh God, I just wasted it a month and a half and now I'm toast. So that is amazing, Nikki. Good work.
It's so true. I mean, I even time block dates with my husband. He thinks I'm crazy, but if I don't do that, it doesn't happen. You know, it just doesn't happen. Time for myself, gym. I even time block my breakfast time in there. Like, I am micromanaged to the T by myself. So it's been a game changer.
I love it. That's fantastic. Well, let's stick with you we'll roll into the next question. What over the last few years, right? So obviously 2020, heck, even 19 or 2021, it was just like this crazy unicorn stuff. Like, looking back at it, right? The saying is hindsight's always 20 for a reason, right? Like, you can see where exactly you were supposed to go and whatnot. So what would you have done differently looking back over the past few years, if anything?
There's a lot of things I would do differently, but one thing, so when I got into the business, I just jumped in. I had $0 to spend for marketing. So I did things like obviously connecting with my community. I did door knocking. I did open houses, things in our business that cost $0. Once I started building momentum and my business started exploding and money started coming in, I got caught up with a few companies that you can buy leads from. I should have just lit that money on fire. I wish I wouldn't have got suckered into that, but I thought that's what I needed to do to break through a ceiling, when really I just needed to double down on the things that got me to that point and go back to the basics. In my business, referrals are huge. My whole business this year has been referrals. And you know, just getting belly to belly, as Jimmy would say, with, you know, my friends and my family, my community, as Todd would say, make your frickin' phone calls, you know, just connecting to your people and loving on them. So I wish I would have just done more of that and less throwing my money at these companies that said that they could provide me leads.
Well, there's a couple things that I want to touch there. First things first, with you and Todd's relationship, he did not use frickin', by the way. I think we all know.
I know. I like went back and forth if I should drop the bomb.
Kids. And secondly, one common theme we heard last week was, do you want leads or do you want to close more deals? And there is a massive disconnect with those two things. And closing more deals is the ultimate prize of what we're looking for. So give me 3 deals versus 300 leads, and I'd gladly take the deals because I can continue to work those into generating more and more business. Shane, you touched on it briefly. You mentioned I finally have an idea of what I'm supposed to do. So if you could go back in time and look yourself in the mirror in early 2020 and be like, what would you do differently?
Yeah, it only took me 3 years to kind of know what I'm doing. I know, impressive. Basically, the thing I would work more on, honestly, is my work-life balance, because the reason I haven't reached my full potential is because of the factors outside of work that kind of delay my actual work. So I didn't know how to handle that balance. And I could always say I make more calls, start earlier, all that stuff. But honestly, I've missed out on at least 2/5 of each year that I've worked just because of things that are going on outside of work, and I can't handle them the right way. I don't have the correct schedule to be compensating for these things going outside, which the schedule is just the number one thing. Google Calendar, actually, like planning out your days, is something that I could have done a lot better, so I can account for these things going on in life instead of missing out on probably half the 3/5 of the year this year because of stupid things that are going on in life. And that kind of takes away a lot from work, basically.
Yeah. And I know you're a fitness buff as well. And you, of all people, understand that you work 5 months, you go on a 1-week vacation or a 2-week vacation, and it's all for naught. So that's how this vicious real estate cycle is as well, guys. Don't ever forget it. When you show up consistently, even if it's just a little bit every single day, it's a whole hell of a lot easier than to start over every quarter. So thank you, Shane, for sharing that. Christy, I'm going to ask you that same question. Looking back early in your career, what's a major 1 or 2 differences that you'd be like, holy smokes, I wish I would have just either listened to somebody, because maybe you heard it, maybe you didn't, or I wish I just had the wherewithal to understand that this is what I should have been doing more of?
I think I probably would have been better about my schedule
Okay.
just because, life gets in the way, 3 kids, and all that goes with it. And pretty soon it's easy to forward it to the next day. So I think that would be something that I would focus on is like Nikki, just diving into the schedule and sticking to it and holding myself accountable. And then eventually I think I started to do that and then would take inventory at the end of every day. And instead of doing it at the end of every week, I would look at my day and say, where's my hole? Like, where did I miss it today? And then I was evaluating on a tighter schedule then. And that's what I'm doing now, is looking at my day and thinking, okay, how could I have done that better? How could I have done that differently? Versus back then I was kind of looking at it maybe once a week when I was mapping out my next week. So I think I planned too widely where I needed to be more narrow.
Yeah. And there's the discipline lies within the schedule. So
Mhm.
you're more consistent when you show up every single day, knowing exactly at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or whatever your schedule permits based off of movable, or I should say the big rocks that you can't move, right? Office meetings, your this, and that. And so understanding that following and being disciplined to that schedule is absolutely critical. Kelly, what would you have done differently looking back the last few years?
Well, Jeff, I've been self-employed for the last 25 years, so managing my day-to-day work is not a challenge for me, but technology is. And looking back, I wished I would have made more connections, like even within our own marketing department or, other outside resources to just be more intentional in maybe having a more interactive website, being more consistent on social media. And then also, this has been a big one. And I wish I would have been more intentional even within my own SOI. Sometimes, as I'm scheduling my day, I'm doing the things that need to be done that day. But, scheduling a lunch with a former coworker, a friend, or an acquaintance, and making those connections on a more regular basis, I think would have even helped grow my referral business even more so in the last 6 years.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You're not the only one. You brought it up. You're the first one to bring that up. But with regards to social media, or not social media, your SOI. So Nikki talked about how she was buying leads. You wished you would have focused on the SOI. Imagine if Nikki took half of the budget that she spent on purchasing leads that may or may not have amounted to much and just reinvested that back into the people that already know, like, and trust her, right? That's the piece that we're chasing more and more people to add to our SOI. Imagine, guys, if we just focused 80% of your prospecting time on the people who already know, like, and trust you. So just take that for what it's worth. All right. So May of 2022, the world came to an absolute screeching halt, right? Interest rates are on the rise. Holy smokes, no one's going to buy another property for like an eternity. Shane, what was your go-to play on working through some of those objections?
So I already know the Bozeman office is roasting me right now. Why is he so professional? Just you wait. So
oh God, make sure you shut them off.
We're gonna be good now. We're gonna be good now. But I'm starting to warm up a little bit. So basically, I just keep telling them like, hey, we don't know how worse it's gonna get later on. We don't know what's gonna happen later. But we do know what's going on right now. I just tell them there's things we can do later on. If we pull the trigger right now, there's things we can do if things get better later on. But if they get worse, you still won. You got an interest rate at this rate. You got your home price sold at this price. I mean, you don't know how much worse things are going to get. So, I mean, either way, you kind of win no matter what you do, as long as you do it right now.
Absolutely. Nikki, same question.
I think for me, like, know your numbers in your marketplace, know how many listings there are, know the average days on market, know your selling price, absorption rate, and those types of things, and speak to that. I also always try to have my clients answer their own questions. So, yeah, interest rates are high, but what happens if they go higher? Okay. Do you think you're the only one that's waiting for interest rates to go down? What is our market going to look like when it gets flooded with everyone who's waiting just like you? with already low inventory levels. It's a supply and demand. As they're answering the questions, nod. You know, if they're steering to an answer that's not accurate based on the numbers, know your numbers, correct them. You know, just say, hey, you know, based on our marketplace, our MLS, I pulled numbers this morning. I study the numbers every day. That's actually not accurate. What the perception is that you have on the market. Here is what's actually going on. So I always try to get them to answer the questions, spin it to them that they're in control of the answers. And I think that's been super helpful.
That is the Bozeman crew, and anyone who's ever coached with me in the past or heard me speak is like, know the data. Let the data tell the story. That's an interesting take, Nikki, but like, what do these numbers actually say to you? Because cousin Vito in the basement of, you know, his home in New Jersey, that's not necessarily Grand Junction real estate, but what do I know? Right. So absolutely. Great job. Now, Christy, interesting market, right? You have your luxury piece, which I think most people would say interest rates don't necessarily affect their decision one way or another. But then you also have the local element. So how were you navigating those waters in or since May 22?
So a lot of what Nikki said is what I'm also utilizing. And really, I'm throwing it out there to just say, would you rather pay a point, you know, a percentage point higher interest rate now, but have no competition for the home? Or would you like to be one of 20 offers and you're paying 50 or 100,000 over the ask?
Ooh.
Because you can always refinance that rate when things change again, because they always change. But your purchase price is your purchase price. So where would you rather be, you know? And people have, a lot of those people lost out on homes. So they're still in the market because they were outbid and they didn't want to waive inspection, which I would never recommend. They didn't, you know, want to come up with extra cash because the appraisal didn't come in. So you kind of take them back to those memories of what they lived through and then let them, like Nikki said, answer their own question.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And always remember, right? You got the needle. It's either on the logical side, which is the brain that makes sense, and oh my gosh, I can't do this financially, and then the emotional piece. And you're like, that's what we have to tap into, because the heart decides, the mind justifies, right? So we have to make sure that we can move that needle and be like, hey, listen, Christy, you said this is what you wanted to do. You wanted to downsize, or you wanted to get this ski in, ski out for the grandkids. Like, what are we talking about here? Has that changed, right? So making sure that you're tapping into that emotional element is absolutely critical, just to help them identify where they see themselves, or what, like, I mean, guys, you've heard me say it a million times. Buyers are liars. Buyers are liars. So just try to help them navigate all of that stuff. Kelly, question to you would be, what are some strategies that you're using for getting listing appointments and then going on listing presentations in today's market that have been working, by the way? Sorry.
Yeah, you know, basically it's just connecting with people, building relationships, getting, you know, once I get the listing appointment set, I do a 2-point touch. I go out and I meet with them, you know, listen to what their wants and needs are, tour their home. I take photos for myself. Then I go back and do the CMA and do an estimate of proceeds, and then meet back with them again to share that. And at that point in time, you know, they decide whether they want to go ahead and list. But, you know, it comes down again, like everyone's been saying, it's like, you know, if you have a need to buy or sell, do it now. Don't let some of the challenges out there hold you back. Because to me, the market is always presenting some type of a challenge. COVID presented different challenges, and now the higher interest rates are presenting different challenges, and we don't know what 2024 challenges are going to be yet. So, you know, just basically connecting with the people, talking to them, and trying to meet them where they're at.
Wonderful. Awesome. And you made my heart very, very happy when you use the 2-part process. It kills me when an agent just blurts out a price on the phone 7 seconds into having a conversation with a potential seller. Please don't.
Yeah.
Don't make
You
that a
can't do
strategy,
that.
guys.
No.
If you're doing it, no offense, don't do it anymore. Please, please,
Well,
please, please,
and
please.
Jeff, I think the two-step process also shows your client that you care and you're investing the time in them. If you're just giving somebody numbers over the phone, they know all you're trying to do is get a listing, and that's not going to gain you the business that you want.
Absolutely not. That is not building rapport. Christy, what are some things in the listing department that you're using and that are working in today's market?
So you're not going to like this. I'm just going to.
Oh, geez. Earmuffs, everyone. Earmuffs.
So I had this conversation actually at Gen Blue too, but I know we've got an awesome listing presentation. I have never used a listing presentation because I start with these phone calls to people that I may or may never even meet in person. And it's just over the phone. It's one call after the next. It's the follow-up. It's the emails. So even the last condo I sold in this building, I had talked to them for 2 years on a regular basis. And they called me when they flew into town and said, "Hey, we're thinking of selling. Can you come meet with us?" So I did, and we had coffee, and they didn't ask me hardly anything. I had to keep bringing them around to it because they were just ready to sign because they had been talking to me for 2 years.
So Christy, now I love that. I love that. I thought you were just going to say, "Here's your price." That's completely different. That's a strategy in and of itself. So you were most certainly not on the naughty list.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Well, I'm going to have to, like, I don't know, do something with the listing thing. So Rachel, we'll talk about that. But, because I thought I should probably send them something, and they were just, "No, we're good. We're good." But then also these owners all talk to each other. So that was my 5th deal in this building. So they're talking, whether you know it or not, you have to assume it, but they're talking about you.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially when you do a really, really good job. Especially when you do a good job. Nikki, what about you?
So this year has been something special for me. I have not had to compete with any of my listings this year. It's come from referral-based business. So for me, my listing strategy comes way before, this listing appointment, just building relationships with my friends, my family, and my community. I've had 20 closings this year, and all but 2 have come from referrals. So it is just my cash cow. When I go to meet them for the first time, I never give them a price. So this 2-step thing, I definitely follow that. But I ask a lot of questions. I make every one of my clients feel like they are my only client. They are just my golden egg, and I make them comfortable with the process. And in the back of my mind, I always want to turn my sellers into raving fans. I want them to refer me to their friends and family. So I bring out all the stops. I make sure that they know exactly what's going to happen. I answer the questions before they have them, and I make them comfortable to list their home with me.
Wonderful.
And excited. I mean, the past couple of years, we didn't have to do open houses on listings. They sold in 2 seconds. Yeah. I always did a listing strategy of, launching their home into the marketplace. I still did open houses. Did I get many clients off of them? No, but I show that on social media. So then when people see me working hard when I didn't have to, that's where I got my referrals coming into this year.
Well, and it's interesting too, guys. So here's a little sidebar, unsolicited advice. When you get a listing, obviously put it on social. When it moves to pending, say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for my seller." When it closes, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait for the second chapter or the next chapter for the Johnson family." Guys, your followers think you just listed 3 different properties. It's the same damn one. You just talked about it 3 different times. So leverage those opportunities to get on social, not to trick or anybody, but just like, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I would do for you." Like, it's just that subconscious training. So that is awesome, Nikki. Now, Shane, question to you. What are you doing that's working in today's market from a listing presentation side, or at least getting you opportunities?
All right, this one, this answer you might hate, but I promise you it might make sense eventually. So basically, my whole strategy with my listing presentations is being underprepared. So
Oh God. Oh geez.
I know, you're not gonna like
Cut
this.
his mic off.
I know. So my biggest pet peeve with realtors is when they sound too salesy, they're boring, they sound robotic to try to get business. You got like a lot of them are preparing too much and it sounds completely scripted, and I cannot stand that. My whole thing is I go in there and I've won multiple, well, all of the competitions I've had with other agents, basically, where I love having competitions for a listing because I know that I'm going to get it in the end. I have no issue. I'm not scared about it. I don't care. So that's one of my favorite things. And I've won all of them that I've been in. Basically, the way I do it is I go in there and I would say 70% of my conversation during that listing presentation is getting to know the person. The 30%, 20% around that range is going to be business towards the end. I'm going to be like, okay, what's your goal? What do you look for in an agent? Not even that salesy, but basically asking them what they're looking for in an agent, knowing that I'm that person. But basically, I know that almost every agent going into that listing presentation probably knows more than I do. But at the end of it, I know that that client is going to be like, hey, there's something about him. I know he can get the job done. And I reassure them that, hey, if you have a question that I don't know the answer to, you're going to get that answer in a timely manner. I can do anything these guys can do. Plus, you're going to have a great time selling your house with me.
And he does mean great time, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just leave it at that, Shane. Just leave it at that.
my
But
sales
Shane, one
tactics.
thing that you're doing too, after you're selling some of your listings, this is completely off script here. What's your strategy of trying to get more opportunities? What have you been seeing that's working on your end?
So, like I was saying, like the whole 70-30 thing where I'm becoming their friend during that listing presentation, they're going to refer business to their friends. If you're robotic and they say, oh yeah, he could get the job done, he knows what he's doing, whatever, they have no emotional connection to you whatsoever. Why are they going to go out of their way to refer you to other people? There's no point. If they like you, if they are friends with you, they're going to go out of their way and above and beyond for your business. There's no point in not having that friendship with your clients. The way I interact with my clients, like a lot of people, it shocks some of you, don't worry, but it's one of those things where I have clients tell me, they're like, call me out of nowhere saying, hey, I just went out of my way and referred you to this person, like I like all that stuff. And I love those stories. But I don't know if I just answered your question or not. I kind of just rambled on, but
You most certainly did not, but it's okay.
oh, perfect. Okay, that's what I gotta keep you guessing.
Kelly, what are some talking points that you're currently using with both buyers and sellers with regards to communicating what's happening in the market?
Well, of course, the first one is price point versus the interest rate. And, so many people that I meet with are really hung up on, well, my neighbor has a 2.375% interest rate. And so then what I'm able to share with them is that, yes, you may be correct, but your neighbor probably also paid, $10, $20, $30,000 more than the list price. Very rarely in the real estate market do you win on both sides. And so, yes, it's a higher interest rate now, but most generally, at least in our market, our clients are paying below list price. We are seeing a lot of price decreases as we go. Homes are on the market longer. It's also right now, a talking point that I use is, as a buyer, you can be much more selective in what you are looking for, where, when the interest rates were so crazy low, buyers were having to make decisions on the spot as to whether or not they wanted to move forward. And now they can be a little bit more selective in what they're truly looking for. When I'm working with my first time home buyers, I ask them the question, would you rather pay your mortgage or someone else's mortgage? Because you're renting and you're currently paying your landlord's mortgage. Whereas even if you're at a higher interest rate now, get into where you can be building some equity, because again, interest rates are going to lower or they're going to raise. And when they lower, which we presume they will at some point, then you can refinance. So that seems to really put a lot of them at ease when they really think through the process.
There's a saying that I learned a long time ago. If you don't know your options, you don't have any. So make sure that you're educating your buyers and your sellers on all the possibilities that you can possibly think of. And if you're not skilled enough, and I would never say, hey, jump on your lender's toes on this one, but like, just, hey, let's go talk to your lender and let's go do it together. Because there might be a question that I might ask that they're not thinking on your behalf. So be more and more engaged. Christy, what about you? So again, 2 different markets or 2 different clientele with your local folks and the challenges that they're faced with, and then of course the second, third homeowner.
In terms of getting them to take action, you mean?
Yeah, or just, talking points or how you're communicating with both buyers and sellers within the current market conditions.
So with my second homeowners, again, they're not here, so they're all over the place, and their local market is not our market. If there's a property that's priced well, it's still moving. So, and there are some buildings that have assessments going on right now, which kind of makes them a little less attractive. So those buildings that don't, we've got to be able to educate them and let them know that this is a great deal because this building is in good shape. It doesn't have all of these things coming down the pipe. So they could end up spending their money well. Whoops. Like the sun is just coming in. I don't know if you guys...
It was perfect timing. You had this godly advice, like you're this angel of smartness.
And here comes the sun. So it's just a lot of trying to, it's almost like herding cats in a way, because they're living on Realtor or Zillow or whatever, and they're watching these condos come up and down, and they're thinking, oh, well, houses are sitting on the market longer, but they're not always. So you could end up having... There was just to give you an example, there's a duplex that was on the market for about 12 days. In those 12 days, there were 3 brokers, myself included, kind of hovering, just waiting to make that offer to get the go ahead to do it. And by the time people were putting in it was under contract. So people are waiting too long on a great property and they're going to lose it. And it could end up going in multiples. So you can't predict, no one's got this crystal ball. So for them to sit on the sidelines waiting for something to happen, you're kind of like, it could go sideways on you if you wait too long. Yep. So having those conversations, and I can work Summit County. Yes, I did have a listing over there recently and sold in Breck. So if you have Summit questions, you are welcome to call me. Awesome.
Look at that. Who would have thunk a panel would have generated a potential referral for you? Amazing.
Yeah, give me a buzz. Yeah. So on the local side, though, just to go back to the referrals, because I moved here 5.5 years ago and was teaching. And I basically, my whole SOI were teachers, and they don't have any money, right, for the most part. So what I've decided to do with these quarterly workshops is I don't know all the teachers, but I know a lot of them. So in these sessions that we're doing, we're going to just dig deeper. So even though my sphere only goes so far, their sphere goes beyond teachers into friends. And so we're going to go deep and have them refer us. So Sally already knows, likes, and trusts me, but she has a whole group of people that already knows, likes, and trusts her. So when they're referring and saying, oh, she's got this, or you should go to her workshop, or whatever it might be, that credibility has now gone 2 or 3 levels deep, just planting that seed and continuing to water that seed.
Yeah, that third-party validation is absolutely critical. And my wife hates it when I say, hey, that's great. That person, think of them as a conduit to 10 other people you do not know. So yeah, always something to keep in mind. So 5 minutes. Yes, Sarah? Last 5 minutes? Great. Awesome. So Shay, what is one thing you can say DP has helped you with in growing your business over the last few years?
I would say definitely the coaching and leadership, because as you know, I kind of get in my own head. I need to be held accountable for some of the things I say sometimes, well, in multiple ways. But it's one of those things where basically I know exactly what I need to be doing, and sometimes I need someone kicking me in the ass saying that just do it, you know?
Absolutely. Knowing versus doing. Kelly, same question to you. What's one thing MA's helped you with growing your business over the last few years?
Yeah, I have to be office specific, and that's the North Park support has just been amazing. Ted has always done a great job of bringing in people each week, from whether it's a city planner, an appraiser, an inspector, somebody that just brings real knowledge to each agent in our office. It was a great way for me to build my resource team as I was growing my business. And just having, Lori as our admin, and AJ, and just in support from the other agents. I felt like getting connected and building those relationships. There's such a wealth of knowledge there that really helped cement me. You know how they say most agents don't make it after 2 years. I think if I had not had those connections in that office, I don't know if I'd still be here. So that's number one.
Awesome. Thank you very, very much. And guys, there's always that saying, who you work with matters. And so that is a testament to that. Christy, same question to you.
So I would say just recently working with Jens to bullet, just kind of brainstorm ideas to market to neighborhoods, and then Rachel jumping in with all the things that she brought to the table that I didn't even know that she could do. So I would say, even if you don't have something that you're pressing on, just schedule a meeting with Rachel or her team and find out what they have. Because I was new to real estate, came in without a managing director during COVID. We didn't have an AC in our office. So I didn't really know what I didn't know, and I didn't know what was out there. So what Rachel has given me, and over the years, just seeing what Carrie has been able to produce, prior to Rachel coming in too and adding to that. So that's been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Jens and Jennifer Colson have been phenomenal in terms of having, I think for me, only doing this for 3 years, my clients knew more about Vail than I did.
Mm-hmm.
They had been skiing that mountain for 3 decades when I had not. So I needed to have someone that I could go to, that I trusted, who knew the market and who would tell it to me true.
Yep.
And Jennifer Colson has been that person. So you've got to find your people, and then you've got to take what they tell you and put it into play.
Right. Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. All right, Nikki, to you. What's one thing you could say DP's helped you with in growing your business the last few years?
I would say the support system that I have, both personally and professionally. I think the coaching is great. We get coached by the best in the business for free. I think our marketing team, a bunch of rock stars, like they are on top of it. I utilize them so much. Just all the tools and leverage that Caldwell gives us. Everyone in this business with Coldwell Banker wants to see us win. And you can feel that. You can feel that energy. Everyone is so positive and willing to help. You just have to utilize them. They're all there for us. So I think the support, the managing brokers, Jimmy is great. I love Jimmy. He's my biggest cheerleader. Todd makes it known. You can personally call him anytime you need anything. So I think just the camaraderie of our Coldwell Banker family is by far the best thing.
Absolutely. Thank you very, very much for sharing that. And guys, thank you for opening up your own kimonos and being very, very open, honest, and vulnerable with us all and sharing a bunch of stuff. Sarah, wow, I wasn't quite sure if we were going to use up all one hour, but my goodness, these guys just have so much information to give. So I'm going to pass the baton to you.
All right. Thank you to our panel. You guys are really amazing. I'm blown away by your advice. So thank you so much. If there's any oh no, it's 11 o'clock. So that's it. Will I see you all this Friday at 9 a.m., 10 a.m. For our first part of our business planning session. I hope so. Because we have a ton of really great programming events. Next Tuesday is Casey Steen. She will be, because it's Halloween, she will be sharing some spooky legal cases and providing just some good legal advice for us, because it can be a scary world out there, not just in real estate. But thank you all for coming. I will see you on Friday.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great day.